Head of the anatomy section at the University of the West Indies, Professor Jean-Pierre Louboutin, and former head of the section, Michael Gardner, is here this morning to discuss the increase in applications from individuals who have formally indicated their desire to donate their bodies to science upon death. What is driving this shift and what happens after donations? Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us. As I just said a little while ago, Prof, what is driving this increase?
So, good morning first. So apparently we have an increase in the awareness of the people who are interested in this process. And for example, right now we have 62 persons who are interested in this in the procedure, into donating their bodies, and some of them are medical professionals, some of them are lawyers, some of them are alumni from UWI. So people understand that they would contribute to a better knowledge of anatomy, but also, broadly speaking, of science in general, and it can have some medical implication in terms of treatment, in terms of surgery, for example, but in terms of therapeutic approaches also in the long term. Mm-hmm. So it emphasizes the mission also of the university in terms of teaching at different degrees, undergraduate, graduate, but also for research, as we said. And Mr. Gardner can tell you more about this aspect.
Mr. Gardner, let's talk about the research and the importance of persons donating. Okay. Well, first of all, what body parts are you most interested in, and why is it so important that these donations or the donation list increases?
So what we have found basically is that in the Jamaican population, the anatomy that we're seeing has its own differences. So if you know the standard anatomy we'd use to say Gray's anatomy, okay, that's an anatomy that we find. But those are basically based on Caucasian bodies. Mm-hmm. And we have found that there are significant differences in the various aspects of morphology of various organs. Over the last 15 or so years, we've documented a lot on what is occurring in the liver. So for example, you know, liver cancer is very common in Jamaica, spread from the colon to the liver. So the hepatobiliary surgeons need to know the anatomy of the liver. And we've found that there are a number of significant differences in the liver, which we have been documenting. We just got out a recent paper in the World Journal of Liver Transplantation, right? So we see that quite a thing. And then in the blood vessels of the body, we're also seeing that there are significant differences. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're looking, so the students who come in and they dissect the bodies, after the bodies are dissected, then we continue now to do research on those bodies. The surgical residents do a lot of work on the bodies. So we're involved with the orthopedic people, the hepatobiliary surgeons, etc., you know, so we look at the various organs. But interestingly is that our population has some distinctive differences to what we would find in the general textbooks of anatomy. And also, there's a lot of variability too. So in each body, so the exposure of the student, it helps them a lot to see how the body can vary.
So if I want to donate to this mission, what should I do first of all?
So you can contact us. There is a number which is like 927-05-86. Right. And you can contact Miss Crawford. Yeah? Right. And she will give you the different, she will follow you through the process.
Right.
And there are some forms to fill. And it's relatively easy. And yeah, so it's more or less what people can do.
Okay, so after I have formally signed up, what happens next?
So once you formally sign up, so I'll repeat that name, this is Miss Kerry Crawford, or assistant, as administrative assistant. So you can call her, get in touch with her, or come in to the Department of Basic Medical Sciences at UWI, the section of anatomy, and you can get the bequeathal forms. So these can be signed up, and the justice of the peace would therefore say so. The next of kin would, for example, keep a copy. We keep one copy, and the next of kin, or the person who is bequeathing their body, will keep that. And then at the time of their death, then that person would inform us. We also have cases of people who, on their dying bed at the university hospital, we get a number of calls that they're facing their end, and they would like to donate their bodies to medicine. And they're just write up a simple, they would like to do it, and witnessed.
So how important is it for the family to be a part of this? And that's one question. And then we're from a society where,
family, right.
Yeah, so you can probably answer that first. And then I'm going to talk about some of the misconceptions about death and body parts.
Yeah, no, we do get questions. We do get questions a lot. And we will speak with the family, and the family will ask us, for example, maybe ask us a little, what really happens in anatomy? The body is dissected. And some of the people will ask back for the remains at the end of the procedure of dissection. The body is dissected over 2 years, and at the end of this 2 years, they sometimes come back, and they want their bodies to bury the remains of their individual. So that's the general. I would say, JP, you'd agree with me that their general concern is some people would donated the body to the university, and that's it. There are other individuals who would say, at the end of the process, we would like to get back the body, and we do that.
Okay, so pretty much you are hoping that over time you will see an increase in the donations.
So medicine, the training of a medical doctor, at the very first 2 years, you're doing anatomy, physiology, you're learning about the structure of the body. So the human body is a great, it's essential, it has to be there, And they will spend 2 years dissecting and looking at the various parts of the body. So it's a definite prerequisite. JP, something that we have to have. And later on, at the postgraduate level, the surgeons come back now to do it.
But everything is linked. So it means that anatomy is not an isolated discipline.
Right.
It's more or less linked to physiology, pharmacology, biochemistry, and so on. So you cannot understand physiology if you don't know your anatomy, and so on, and likewise.
I'm getting the wrap-up signal, but does it matter if it's an adult body, or is it if it's a
We
a
sometimes
child?
get a newborn that has died. Sometimes the mother will donate the body to anatomy. And just lastly to say in terms of that, is that the anatomy that we teach is not just for the medical students, but we teach the dental students, the physical therapy students, and also the basic medical science students. So there are a lot of different groups, and at the postgraduate levels, the psychiatrists come to study the brain, the surgeons, the orthopedic people, the radiology. So at the postgraduate level and at the undergraduate level, the bodies are used.
So for the love of science, this is an appeal to you, that this is an option that you can take. Head of the anatomy section at the University of the West Indies, Professor Jean-Pierre Louboutin, and former head of the section, Michael Gardner, speaking to us about donations. And again, it is for the love of science. Now, the second edition of News in 5 is next, so please stay with us.